Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play Supreme League of Patriots, and thank you for watching. Supreme League of Patriots, or what I will refer to as Patriots from now on, because that is a super long name, is a point-and-click adventure-style game, guys. And it's all about the wacky adventures of that guy right there on the bottom right of the screen, the Purple Patriot, guys. I cannot be making this stuff up, guys. This is really what's going to happen. It's a very interesting and unique game. It released on Steam January 2015. It was developed by No Bull Intentions and published by Phoenix Online. You can go ahead and get the first episode of Patriots for $5.99, or just go ahead and get the season pass, guys, which includes all 3 episodes of the game for $14.99. Now, when I first got this game, guys, I didn't exactly know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be like making fun of superheroes, if it was going to be making fun of pop culture, what it was going to be doing. It does a little bit of everything. It makes fun of pop culture, it makes fun of the genre, it makes fun of just random stuff sometimes. And it does it in a very unique way is the best way I can describe it. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the options, of course. The settings, that's where we always start. Of course, it's because it's a point-and-click game, you have your standard control mode, but as far as I'm aware, there is no other control mode. Like, I tried clicking on this and it didn't change anything. And I don't think there's any controller support at this point, so I don't really know what's the point of this different control mode scheme. I could be wrong about there being no controller support, but I didn't see any at all on the Steam page, and it didn't work with my controller, so I don't know if it has controller support or what. There was also a help system because, like other point-and-click adventure games, sometimes it's vague about what you're supposed to do. It's about exploring the environments, clicking on things, trying combinations of things. But for me, I'm not a humongous fan of point-and-click games, so that can get a little tedious. And I do enjoy that it has a help system. It tells you, kind of points you in a general direction of how to progress things, because it can just, otherwise it can be a little tedious, can drag itself out that it necessarily doesn't need to. Especially when what you have to do next isn't always very blatantly obvious. So it does have that help system there, which is really nice. It also has subtitles, which is also nice. The graphics do go up to 1080, but other than that, there really isn't much to speak of as far as graphics manipulations go. You have windowed, VSync, and some quality control, basically going from low to very high. And that's kind of it. That kind of wraps up. You have some sound sliders here, which is pretty nice. The music, I have to say, is probably like my favorite part of this game. The background music is really... It's good. The background music is actually very, very entertaining, guys. So like I said, I didn't exactly know what to expect when I got this game, guys. There is a tutorial mode, but it's a point-and-click game. It really isn't that hard to figure out how to play this game. So I'm going to go ahead and load up my most recent save. I've been playing the game for about, I don't know, I want to say a good hour. And this is my character right here. This is the Purple Patriot. I can kind of walk around the environment right now. And basically the story is this guy wants to be a superhero. And his costume got mixed up in the washer with a bunch of chemicals, and basically now he's purple instead of the normal colors that he should be, which I guess is red, white, and blue, but somehow it all turned purple. That's literally the entire story of how he became the Purple Patriot. And you're basically entering a contest to win a chance to be a superhero on national television. This is your sidekick, your best friend, your other main character, Mel, who's British, if you can't tell by the giant British bag that he's carrying. The game is, how to say this, it's not very subtle, it's very blatant. It just really puts itself out there and kind of lets you figure things out for yourself, kind of. Every time you talk to somebody, it kind of like does this pop-up thing where you see the character talking. But she's talking to me right now, even though she's talking to nobody because I'm not in front of the desk, which is a little weird. The characters don't turn and look at each other sometimes. They just kind of just do whatever and they just talk. But I mean, it's fine. It's not necessarily a big deal. Just
oh, really? You were in A Midsummer Night's Dream?
so yeah, as you can see, there is humor to this game, but a baseline when I'm looking at the humor of Patriots, guys, the best way I can describe it is it's a dry humor. It's not over the top. It's really all about dialogue. It's all about you laughing at the kind of the dry tone that it's presented to you. Because Mel is usually the guy who says all the jokes. But Purple Patriot has some jokes too, but because he acts like a 18-year-old from high school, it's just the humor mostly comes from Mel, or the wacky characters that you do meet. Which I will say the character designs are fantastic. It really reminds me of like the Incredibles. The character designs are very well done, and there's a lot of different superheroes that you can meet out there. Which I wonder if I can go back. Yeah, it should be okay. I should be able to go back. So you can meet like different characters, like the intimidating supervillain. I think which his name is. I forgot what this guy's name was, but you get the idea. You can meet this character. You can also talk to other characters, like there's a character called Bleeding Heart, whom I do believe I will get to meet if I go into the bathroom and then walk out. I don't know why they switch places. They just do. I don't know if that was something you're supposed to do, if that was supposed to be a hint. And there's a lot of, I will say, there's a lot of like screens like that. Every time you kind of transfer the room, you're going to get like this hold screen, then you get transferred to the next area. There's Bleeding Heart, by the way. Like I said, there's another superhero here that you're supposed to talk to, who, by the way, is secretly your boss. And it's just, it's not, it has dry humor, and sometimes there's just a lot of disconnects between what you're clicking and what's going on the screen. Like, you'll click on speak to her, and then obviously it took a while to react there, as you saw, as he kind of just slowly jaunts over. And that's one thing I will say, he is very slow of a walker. He really takes his time to get from one side of the screen to the next, which is okay. It just can be a little bit like, dude, could you hurry your fat ass up sometimes? So yeah, you can basically talk to people. Of course, you can have all sorts of different kind of dialogue options, like she helped me discover my name. Do you have any superpowers?
You look more like a proper superhero than most of these guys. Do you have real superpowers?
In fact, I do. I have super strength, X-ray vision, and flight. All the usual stuff.
Can you leap tall buildings in a single bound?
As you can see, lots of references
There's really
to pop
not much
culture.
call for that. Most of the time,
Superman.
it's easier to just go around.
Alright, so you get the basic idea. You talk to characters. There's a lot of character dialogue here. And that's actually one of the things that they really kind of underline. They almost made fun of it themselves. There's like this one scene where a bunch of objects appear on the screen, like, click on the hidden objects, and then they're like, wait, that's ridiculous. We're not going to have you do that. That's not this type of game. And they kind of made fun of themselves in a way. The game is very meta also in a way. There's also, of course, other features, like you have your utility belt, which is where your items are listed. You can find, like, USB cards or whatever objects you have to manipulate to get past a puzzle. But you can also combine items in your inventory screen by simply clicking and dragging them onto each other if the needs arise. And again, you do have a help system, so I could, like, for instance, talk to Mel really quick.
Mel.
And I could say I could need help, and he will be able to help me with from a large selection of other things that we could talk about. And the dialogue, like I said, it's clever. It's well written. It's just dry humor, which for me is not necessarily something I'm a huge fan of. Some people like dry humor, some people don't. It's all going to be a matter of personal preference. It's not necessarily that the jokes are bad. The jokes are actually, I think some of them can be funny. It's just they're just delivered in a very dry manner is the best way to describe it. You also have a little button up here that lets you look at your tasks, and you have a little world map screen that allows you to go to different areas, like the park or back to your apartment or wherever have you. You can see this is New York, Manhattan right here. We'll go ahead and head to the park really quick. Before we go ahead and end this with the grand finale, here's another character, Flamboyant Man. I'm kind of curious, who's Flamboyant Man? As you can see, he just takes his sweet-ass time to kind of walk anywhere. I can't double-click on anything to make him run. I can't even click away to stop him from his current action either.
Nice.
Says the guy dressed as a giant purple dildo.
That's actually the most advert joke I've actually seen so far.
I accidentally washed it on the hot cycle.
Whatever you say, honey. Your secret's safe with me.
As far as the voice acting goes, I find it to be hit or miss depending on the character. Like the Purple Patriot, his voice is fantastic. I don't know what I think it's a personal preference, but Mel's voice, it just shatters on my ears. It just like nails on a chalkboard because he just is so overly British. It's over the top British. I don't know. I could be wrong. It's just, to me, it's like he is really trying to sell that British accent to us, and it just drives me nuts the way the guy talks sometimes. Anyways, so are you entering the superhero contest?
Are you entering the America's Got Superpowers contest?
That's the plan.
You're a bit of a jaunt away from the theatre, aren't you?
I needed some fresh air. Plus, I was afraid some of the other contestants might try to copy my costume.
I can't believe anyone would do that.
You really think that people these days have high moral values and would resist the temptation to rip off another contestant?
That too.
All right, so we're gonna end that conversation there. We could have talked to this guy to try to get like some more information on what kind of superhero name we should have had.
You can't very well miss me.
It just basically our goal was to kind of talk to the other contestants of the show, and chances are these characters will be more, probably more important to the overall storyline in episodes 2 and 3. Which that's one thing to note is this is just the first episode, so I can't comment about the entire series. I can comment about what I've played so far. Also, from what I understand, each episode is about 2 to 4 hours each, depending on how fast you move through dialogue. Depends if you click through
I
dialogue.
want you to get stage fright, mate. You were nerveless that night you got up on stage and threw a bucket of water over Adina Menzel. I'm not convinced the audience saw the irony, but you know what those types who go to see the vagina monologues can be like. Just go up to the mic and introduce yourself, mate.
You see, Mel just sounds like a character from, he just sounds way too British. He sounds like Yakko from Animaniacs. I don't understand what's with his accent. It just drives me nuts, his accent. Anyways, we're gonna go back now to the theater here, and obviously introduce ourselves to the world. I'm not sure if this could be the first end of the first episode. I don't think it is. Like I said, I've only been playing it for about an hour or so. I don't feel like this is the end of the first episode. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's see what happens. Take your time, Purple Patriot. It's not like we're...
You can tell we're short on contestants this year. They're even inviting the commissionaires to take part in the auditions.
Okay.
Huh?
Who's keeping the undesirables out while you're in here?
I thought they were just directed straight to your dressing room.
Don't try to be a smart
You can
ass, son.
click through the dialogue if you
Sorry,
really wanted
didn't
to.
mean
You can
to
just... You don't have to listen to it, which is one thing I will say is nice. And that will probably be something you will do quite a bit in this game, is you will read it and click through it, because sometimes you have to go through the same dialogue if you accidentally click on something. If you thought something else would have a different interaction, you have to kind of go through the same dialogue. I'll give you an example. Like I was looking for these these USB cards in the office, and I needed to find them basically. And I was kind of clicking on items and trying to discover where they were, but sometimes I was clicking on the same item and getting the exact same results. So I didn't know if they had changed or not. So it just can get a little tedious listening to the dialogue over and over again. There's a lot of dialogue. So it helps that you can click through it, especially once you've read it or heard it again or laughed at the same joke.
And to make the odd snide comment when the opportunity arises.
Well, now you're definitely encroaching on my territory.
Let me explain how the contest works. Each contestant is set 3 challenges to prove they have what it takes to be a great superhero.
Okay, so we gotta obviously win this
Win through to boot camp.
challenges of some sort.
I'll do my best.
Don't go to too much trouble. You'll be one of the joke contestants that we put on for the viewers to laugh at.
Okay, they're making fun of American Idol now. I got it.
You can't possibly say no to.
I admire your balls, kid.
With trousers that tight, we don't really have much choice.
I can't stand Stefan's voice. It sounds like someone's holding their nose and trying to speak in a British accent.
Any of your powers to achieve it.
Some of the voice acting, like I said, it's good. Some of it's just hit and miss for me. I don't know why.
So the stage is all yours.
The stage is all yours. He sounds like he's literally holding his nose and talking. So we got a task. So let's look at what it is. It says, in order to progress the talent show, Kelly's pass 3 tests. First test, test your strength machine. On stage, all you need to do is hit the plate with a hammer and make the bell ring. Alright, so we're gonna grab obviously over here. Okay, okay, so I guess we'll just click on the hammer.
Stand back. I'm going to hit this harder than it's ever been.
I had to say, I enjoy Kyle's voice. His voice, the Purple Patriot's voice, is kind of entertaining to listen to.
Don't worry, it's a pretty sturdy machine.
I meant anything of yours.
Alright, let's see what happens here. Hit it, man, hit it! Are you serious? He has all those muscles and he couldn't do it?
I've seen bigger muscles on a seafood platter.
Oh, wow.
Mel, do you have a minute?
So we'll talk to Mel really quick. We'll see what we need to do. I need help!
How am I ever going to ring the bell on that test your strength machine?
Any chance you could exercise, develop your muscles, and cultivate a physique worthy of an Adonis?
Not in the next 10 minutes.
Then I'd say your best bet is cheating.
Okay, so obviously we have to cheat somehow.
Thanks.
So how do we
You
cheat
say so?
at this exactly, huh? So we need to find a way to cheat at this thing. Can we use this?
You're getting a little ahead of yourself, aren't you?
Get ahead of myself? I don't
I
think...
think it's possible to run that fast.
I mean, shouldn't you pass the
I suppose you're right. I wouldn't want to bite off more than I can chew.
Your waistline suggests you're capable of chewing a considerable amount.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how do we cheat at this?
Oh man, I love these machines.
No, mate. You're thinking of a blood pressure monitor.
I can't believe that with all his strength, he cannot get this thing.
Stand. Don't worry.
I meant...
With those giant muscles, he can't get that bell to the top. I find that so hard to believe. So obviously we need to find something we can hit this thing harder with. So we're going to do a little exploring. Let's go over here.
I think this is just here to make...
You're so naive, it's not even funny.
Like I said, there's just a lot of dialogue on every object you click. There's usually 2 or 3 interactions between the characters. Let's go back here. We need to pass this strength test. I'm going to guess there's something probably in the gaffer's room.
I don't really have any reason to go in there. And I'm pretty sure there...
Damn.
Okay, well, I guess there isn't, huh? Let's use the fire alarm.
Why would I want to break the glass? It would cause panic.
Who needs a reason? When did fun become a dirty word?
Nah, I can't do...
Killjoy.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think it gives you kind of a basic idea of the themes and the way the game works. I should also mention the game has plenty of Steamy goodness. There's Steam achievements, Steam cards, all that good kind of stuff for somebody who enjoys that Steam collection aspect to it all, guys. Like I said, it's an interesting game. It just really depends on if you enjoy the dry humor, if you enjoy the dialogue. Each characters are very well defined. I feel like each character does have their own personalities. Well, in my opinion, the characters are, their costumes, the way they're designed, their looks is very well done. If, albeit obviously over the top, but it's probably on purpose. He's a giant patriot. He's wearing the British symbol. I forget what it's called. The Jolly. Not that I forget what it's called. But you get the idea. Every character is just a really exaggerated version of themselves. I think it's not necessarily done in a bad way. I enjoy that aspect to it. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of The Incredibles. I just wish it was a little bit more faster paced and a little bit less dialogue. But again, that could be just a personal preference. The soundtrack is well done. The graphics are cute. I'm not sure if this game is kid-friendly, but then again, I think some of the dialogue would fly over a kid's brain anyway, so they probably wouldn't even realize it. As far as the controls go, very simplistic, guys. And in all, if you enjoy click-and-point adventure games and are looking for something a little bit more satirical, a little bit more dry, you have 3 episodes of this, so chances are you're going to enjoy that. But it just really depends on the style of humor you enjoy. I'm not a huge fan of dry humor. You may be. So, again, 3 to 4 hours to beat each episode, so that's about 18 hours. I mean, about 12 hours or so or more to beat the entire series, guys, which is plenty of playthrough, plenty of time to enjoy, guys. So guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Big thanks to the developer and publisher for a chance to check out this title. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and share. I'll keep bringing you awesome indie games, guys. If you really enjoyed this video, maybe consider hitting up that tip jar. If you're feeling generous of heart, all tips go to improving the channel or future giveaways. Till next time, guys, play more indie games.
You've got as much chance